Luna and the Forest of Whispers. Once upon a time, in a quiet village where the wind hummed lullabies through the trees, there lived a little girl named Luna. She had hair the color of soft chestnuts and eyes like puddles after spring rain, always sparkling, always curious. Every night before bed, Luna would peek out of her window and gaze at the forest just beyond the meadow, where the moonlight pooled between branches like spilled silver. "Papa says it's just trees and rabbits," Luna whispered one evening as she hugged her favorite stuffed rabbit, Wibble. "But I know it's not." On the eve of her 7th birthday, something strange happened. The stars shimmered a little brighter, the wind giggled through the leaves, and when Luna blinked, a soft golden glow twinkled at the edge of the forest. It looked like a path. With Wibble tucked under her arm and her cozy slippers on, Luna tiptoed out of bed, down the stairs, and slipped into the night like a whisper. The cool grass tickled her toes, and the stars seemed to wink as she followed the glowing trail into the trees. The moment she stepped into the forest, everything changed. The air smelled like warm cinnamon and starlight. Leaves above shimmered in blues and purples, and the bark of the trees glowed faintly with soft runes that pulsed like a heartbeat. Then she heard a voice, light and airy, like a feather floating in the breeze. "Welcome, Luna. We've been expecting you." Luna spun around. Standing before her was a creature unlike anything she had seen. It was a fox, but not just any fox. It was deep violet, with tiny constellations dotting its fur, and its eyes sparkled like tiny galaxies. It bowed gracefully. "I'm Thistle, your guide," said the fox. "We're so glad you came." Luna blinked, wide-eyed. "Are you real?" Thistle chuckled. "As real as dreams, little one." Together, they walked deeper into the forest. Flowers opened their petals as Luna passed, chiming like bells. Fireflies shaped like floating stars danced around her in twirls and loops. A sleepy brook murmured secrets to its pebbles, and somewhere far off, a lullaby hummed itself into the wind. "Where are we going?" Luna asked. "To the heart of the forest," Thistle replied. "The Tree of Whispers wants to meet you." Luna's heart fluttered. "Why me?" "Because only children with hearts full of wonder and kindness can hear the forest when it dreams." As they walked, Thistle told her stories of the wind that painted the leaves, of caterpillars that dreamed themselves into dragons, of snowflakes that carried ancient songs. Luna listened with wide eyes, feeling as if each step took her deeper into a storybook painted by stars. They passed a grove of trees whose trunks twisted into musical instruments, flutes, harps, and drums that played harmonies when the wind touched them. A giggling squirrel offered Luna a glowing nut that pulsed with warmth. She thanked it with a curtsy and a smile. Finally, they reached a clearing bathed in golden moonlight. At its center stood a tree so immense its branches seemed to hold up the sky. Its bark shimmered with every color of the rainbow, and its roots hummed a melody that vibrated through Luna's slippers and into her heart. "The Tree of Whispers," Thistle said, bowing its head. Luna approached slowly. As she laid a hand on the bark, she felt a gentle warmth flow through her fingers. The tree's hum deepened, wrapping around her like a hug. "Asterisk, asterisk. We remember you. Asterisk, asterisk," the tree said, in a voice that was all around her. "Asterisk, asterisk. You carry the dreams of many. Would you like to listen? Asterisk, asterisk." Yes, Luna whispered. And the tree began to whisper stories into her heart, stories of kindness passed on like lanterns, of laughter echoing through time, of dreams planted like seeds that bloomed into courage and compassion. The whispers of the great tree swirled around Luna like the soft flutter of butterfly wings. For a moment, time felt like honey slow, sweet and golden. Her breathing grew steady, matching the hush of the roots beneath her feet. As she closed her eyes, she saw pictures dancing behind her eyelids, children blowing bubbles that became stars, a bluebird tucking sleepy thoughts beneath a petal, and rivers that sang songs only the moon could hear. When she opened her eyes again, Thistle was already padding quietly toward a spiraling path that hadn't been there before. "Come, Luna," Thistle whispered, tail flicking with stardust. "There's someone you must meet. Keeps the forest's dreams in jars of light." They walked in peaceful silence, the trail lit by mushrooms that glowed a soft peach and soft bells strung between branches that tinkled with the breeze. The deeper they went, the softer the world became, as though the forest itself were sinking into slumber. Eventually, they reached a round, mossy hill nestled under the roots of an enormous willow. At its side stood a weathered door carved with feathers, keys, and swirling stars. Above it, a wooden sign read "The Dream Keepers." Cecil tapped it twice with his paw, and the door creaked open, releasing the scent of paper, lavender, and warm vanilla. Inside, the air was velvet. Towering shelves of honey-colored wood stretched to the ceiling, all lined with tiny glowing jars. Each jar flickered with soft golden light, pulsing gently like a heartbeat. Some glimmered blue, others pink, some a calm forest green. They whispered faintly as if they were telling bedtime stories to one another in secret languages. Behind a crescent moon desk snoozed an owl. He wore round spectacles perched at the very tip of his beak, and a vest stitched with cloud-shaped buttons. On his head sat a teacup still steaming. The owl stirred as they entered, blinking one eye open at a time. "Oh dear me," he said in a hooty, syrupy voice. "Visitors. That hasn't happened since the River of Riddles hiccuped." Luna giggled. "Hello, sir." "Call me Oloring," said the owl, floating gently down from his perch. "Head librarian, dream keeper, teacup balancer, and keeper of And who might you be?" "I'm Luna," she said, hugging Wibble close. "I heard the Tree of Whispers. It said I carry dreams?" Oloring peered at her with twinkling eyes. "Ah, yes. Carriers of dreams feel the weight of others' hearts and still choose kindness. That's the rarest magic of all." He turned and floated toward a shelf labeled "Nighttime Wonders." "Come along. There's something I think you should see." They followed him past shelves labeled "Whale Songs," "Ticklish Shadows," and "Lost Laughter," until he pulled a glowing jar from a nook carved like a crescent moon. "This," he said, holding it out, "is your dream." Inside the jar, Luna saw a younger version of herself, wrapped in a blanket, offering her favorite toy to a crying child. Then the scene shimmered and changed. Now she was tying the shoelaces of a sleepy classmate, then offering a hug to a lonely bird in the rain. "These aren't just your dreams, my dear," Oloring said gently. "They're your kindest moments. The forest remembers kindness as a kind of magic." Luna felt a warmth bloom in her chest. "But they're so small." Oloring smiled. "Small things echo louder in the land of dreams." He handed her the jar. "You'll need this if you want to light the dream steps." "Where do they go?" Luna asked. Olorin tapped his beak, eyes gleaming. Ah, the dream steps only appear when your heart is ready, but I dare say they lead somewhere wonderful. Just then, the entire library gave a soft exhale. Shelves dimmed to a sleepy amber, and the bellflowers by the door began to ring a lullaby. "It's nearly time," said Thistle, his voice just a breeze now. "But can I come back?" Luna asked. "Whenever you dream gently," Olorin replied. He leaned close, placing the glowing jar into Luna's hands. "And thank you for listening." As Luna stepped out of the library, holding her jar of kindness, the air sparkled around her. A path of soft, floating steps began to appear, hovering just inches above the ground, glowing in dreamy hues. Thistle looked up at her and grinned. "Ready for the next part?" Luna nodded, heart full, slippers silent, as she placed her foot on the first glowing step and rose softly into the starlit air. Asterisk. And so, as Luna drifted into sleep, the stars whispered her name with joy. The kindness she carried lit the forest long after she returned home, and the dreams she helped send into the night curled safely into hearts everywhere. Asterisk. The forest of whispers will always be there, just beyond the meadow, just behind the eyelids, waiting with silver leaves and glowing paths. Asterisk. And if you ever feel a flutter in your heart, a hush in the wind, or a soft foxtail brushing your dreams, maybe, just maybe, you found your own way there too.